Hello everybody, it is me Darcy, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to this, the Unnamed Podcast, where I sit here with this guy for about a time, talking rubbish or whatever else comes to my mind, usually my mind, but every now and then, like last week, Kris does bring something to the table. I say every now and then, that was quite literally the first time.
So no, it's not the
first time.
No, I think there's been one other time. Oh. Just one.
I already saw leg. As often or always, let us get started with a little bit of channel news. Kris, take it away.
Indeed. So, Monday this week was...
There we go, that's better. I can roll.
Christ, okay. Coral Island. Coral Island is what came out on
Coral
Monday.
Island. It was Coral Island.
Anything interesting happen in it?
Well, I didn't really mess up this time. Last time, obviously, I did mess up. I, accidentally gave away my watering can on a day I couldn't collect it, and so I had to wait several days to get it back. I say several, it was 2, but that's a lot of time for a farmer. That's a lot of time to not be able to water your farm.
Yeah, it's a problem.
So that was an issue, but in this one, no, there's no issues like that. I get a lot more of my tools upgraded, which is what you want. It's the whole point of that type of game is to do stuff, upgrade, do stuff, upgrade, become better, make lots of money, get to an end game where there's really nothing to do other than kind of sit there and be like, cool, this is fun.
Yeah, pretty much.
But no, in this episode, I go and see a giant who is shorter than me, so I'm not really sure how that works.
What?
Yeah. So Coral Island has this thing, and I think it has to do with the cultures and stuff that they're kind of using as inspiration for the culture of the island.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where it's like they've got giants, and the giants are just like little dudes in masks. But they're called giants, like that's their racial name.
Okay.
And that's, that's fine, because it is reminiscent of stuff that I've, like, not that I really know about, but I have seen, where it's like, oh yeah, these were this race of giants in this mythology of XYZ tribe, and
it's kind of like a Loki.
And the giants weren't actual giants, it was just what they were called. But in this, it's like, all the giants are like the size of children, and I'm just like, I feel you could have called them something else, especially considering, like, the giants are the giant of air, the giant of earth, the giant of fire, the giant of water. I'm like, you could have just called them nature spirits or
That
whatever.
would make a lot more sense. But
they're being classed as giants, they're not big at all, and it's kind of like, that's kind of a problem.
I can't even think of a reason why you would call him a giant in that aspect.
As that, I feel, and this is going off like bits of knowledge that I just have from like generally just being a person who's interested in learning about the world around me.
Yeah.
I definitely feel it's in relation to, like, because Coral Island sort of has this kind of like Pacific Island vibe.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it Polynesian, but like it definitely feels like if you were to put it in the real world, it would be one of these islands in the Pacific where they still have, even though they've picked up some more of the Western overarching Western culture, they also still have, and when I say Western, of course I mean American. They still have very strong spiritual and
fair
ancestral connections to the original people who settled on that island, and so that's kind of what it feels like. And so it's like the giants are that, and as I said, going off the little bits of stuff that I can remember when I was like looking into stuff, there are definitely cultures in that kind of region of the world that have legends of stuff like mythological legends of giants and stuff who weren't actually giants. Like, they were like, I'm not gonna say who I think the culture is, but I've definitely heard a story of like a giant who was like just a normal human, but it was like, oh no, but they've got giant, like they're they've got giant ancestry, which is why they're a hero, because it was like one of the hero myths.
Oh, okay.
So it's like it's almost like the Hercules myth, where it's like, oh no, but Hercules was just a normal man, but he had he was the son of a god, so he was stronger and faster and more immortal. And it was kind of like that's what this person was in their myth. It was like he was a giant, and so he was stronger, but he was just a normal human, but he had giant ancestry, so he was stronger.
Fair enough.
And that's what made him a hero, because he was a hero and he did heroic things, and it's like, cool, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's how things go. And so it's like the giants in that story weren't actually giant; they were just kind of normal human-sized people.
Fair enough.
And as I said, that makes sense because of the culture and because of the stories and the myth. But why it doesn't make sense in Coral Island is they're actually significantly smaller than a normal human.
Well, yes.
And so I feel like, nature sprites or nature spirits or just
embodiments of nature.
Nature boogers would even be better.
Yeah, fair, yeah.
But yeah, they're giants apparently. So I go have a chat with a giant. That's pretty cool,
Yeah.
Then I go to a magical temple that's a corrupted magical temple, pretty standard stuff, really.
Sounds fun.
And then drink something a flower gives me, which makes my character feel almost immediately sick, but gives me the power to turn into flower petals and teleport everywhere. So, it's kind of a win-win situation, but at the same time, if you ever are in a temple that seems corrupt, and a flower does offer you a strange drink, don't take it. That's not going to end well. That's like waking up in a bathtub full of ice without a kidney kind of territory.
Yeah, no, that's fairly accurate on that one.
And also, you should already know you're in trouble if you are in a corrupted temple and flowers are talking to you, because if that's happening,
you're high as fuck.
Something has gone wrong.
Oh, yes.
Check for a gas leak.
Exactly.
I think that's like one of my favorite things about a lot of ghost stories.
Yeah.
I was watching someone who's doesn't believe in ghosts, and obviously I don't believe in ghosts. I know occasionally when I'm playing video games I talk about how the only thing I'm scared of is ghosts, but I actually don't believe in ghosts, so
yeah,
let's just sort that out right there. But anyway, and they were talking about ghosts and how most ghost stories can be debunked by just checking for a gas leak.
Yeah, no, that actually makes sense.
Oh, yeah, you saw a ghost? Yep. Did you check for a gas leak? No. You should have checked for a gas leak.
You should have.
Because you were seeing things.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense.
Well, it all comes back to the humans. It's beneficial for any living animal to be wary when they can't see. AKA, be afraid of the dark, because that's gonna help you survive.
True.
And if you don't believe that, go watch horror movies where people are like, it's dark out there, I'm just gonna go out there and see what's happening. No, never do that. That's a terrible idea.
it's not great.
That's why that person always dies. Although I will say this about horror movies, because I don't watch them very often, but the reason is because, one, I just don't find them that entertaining. That's a big thing. Two, I don't really have any reason to watch them. And three, for horror movies to work, the people in them have to have absolutely no survival instinct.
Oh yeah, none.
It's like,
don't get me wrong, there would be people out there that have the same survival instincts. None.
Oh, I definitely feel that, but I also feel like there's there are things that they do in horror movies that make no sense. I recently, and this is going to put us way off channel news.
Okay, yeah.
But, there is a channel on Australian TV called 10 Nickelodeon. So it's Channel 10 Nickelodeon. They play Nickelodeon shows all through the day.
Yeah.
Until 9 o'clock at night, where they put on horror movies. Generally slashers, very bloody slashers.
What?
And then after that one horror movie, they then go back and put on Nickelodeon shows. So one in the morning they're playing Hey Arnold, but at 9 o'clock at night they're playing the new Scream movie. Because
What?
I don't know. Because like there's just no comprehension.
Well,
there.
no, see, there are people who will watch a horror movie because for some reason they like horror movies, but they also need to immediately watch something happy and joyful after because
Yeah, but I'm talking
because
about
it scares them too much.
I'm talking about like this is playing stuff like they'll be playing like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Or they'll be playing something like Dora the Explorer. And
Yeah.
they'll keep doing that kind of level stuff all the way until 9 o'clock at night, where from like something like a 90s cartoon, like SpongeBob,
Yeah.
or something like that, it'll then immediately switch to horror movie. And then it's like, oh, bang. And because you know how horror movies are, they always start off with someone who's not an actual character in the horror movie dying to the big villain so that you understand what's about to happen. So they're because this channel, which is targeted at kids, it is literally called Nickelodeon.
That's fantastic.
And at 9 o'clock at night, generally on weekends, I've never seen it not on a weekend, but like on a Saturday night. So a possibility where a, youngish child, not too young, because obviously if they're too young, it's not going to affect them. But if like a youngish child of 5 or older is sitting there watching cartoons because it's a Saturday and they don't have to go to bed early or whatever.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it goes from SpongeBob to, oh, look at all of these people being bloodily murdered.
That's actually funny.
It is, but
That's funny.
I don't understand how our TV system works because we have a government that's like, hey, 16-year-olds can't use social media. Until you're 16, you can't use social media because you might be influenced and you might see stuff that you're not supposed to see as a child.
Yeah.
Yet on a TV channel, which is governed by those same laws, they're like, yeah, you can say you are 100% for children and then do this shit.
And then play a horror movie that's
But just one.
potentially rated R here.
Yeah, just one. Just one. Okay? And then you go back to playing cartoons. Okay?
Maybe that's to screw with the parents. It's 100% to screw with the parents. It's not the kid.
To be.
Because what's going to happen is, it's like a thing of like, why are you letting your kids stay up this late? Here, have a horror movie. Now they're screaming and wailing because they've just watched someone die, and then they can't get to sleep that night, so it's like, suffer.
But it's not even that late. It's, as I said, it's like 9 o'clock at night. By the time it's 11 o'clock at night, it's like, okay, now we're back to cartoons. Okay?
Yeah, but you say that.
And to top it off, we're going to put on cartoons like Hey Arnold and stuff like that. So older cartoons that were probably better for your kids than the new shit we're pumping out
Well,
now.
you've also got to look at there's, I can't even remember what the name of the channel is, but there is another channel that at about 7 or 8. It's something earlier. It just stops broadcasting.
Yeah, that's ABC for kids.
Probably.
Because they just go like, hey, kids should be in bed now. But again, that's a channel that doesn't really make money for anyone, so they don't care.
Fair.
Whereas because of ads, Channel 10 can make money because it's not owned by the Australian government. But anyway, I digress. Basically, what I'm saying is it makes no sense.
It's true.
Right? But anyway, the reason I bring all that up is the other day I had it on because when I just have noise on for the dogs, cartoons work really well because they're brightly colored and they make lots of noise.
No, I suppose.
So they would just sit there and kind of have noise going so they think people are around.
Yeah.
And so I ended up watching the new Scream movie, right?
Okay.
Because that came on and I was like, oh, it's Scream. And I was like, oh, wow, it's the new one where they were like, they brought back the girl from the original one, Sydney. And they're in the original house and, all that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, I've never seen this. So I'll sit down and watch it. And I'm watching it and
that's the one with
the killer.
Jenna Ortega in the movie?
No.
No.
Actually, it might. I can't remember who was in it. It left, no impression on me other than this one thing where it's like the killers have Sydney and Monica from Friends and the daughter of the guy who was the original Scream Ghostface killer.
I'm pretty sure that's the one.
I'm pretty sure she could have been in it. She could have been the sister or
She
the
would have been
friend
one of the main
or
characters.
I can't. She definitely wasn't the main character, the main daughter of the first killer.
Yeah, yeah.
But anyway, as I say, I digress. But anyway, they're in the kitchen. Monica's been shot by these two crazy obsessed super fans, which I think is sort of the point of like.
Yeah.
I hate it when a movie's like, yeah, see, we understand that sometimes people who like these horror movies we make too much, can become, because they're like mentally unwell, can become like murderers, and that's the whole plot.
Yeah.
They turned the Scream movie is like, in their world exists, which they then turned into a movie.
Yes.
Which then got multiple sequels, which sucked. So in this one, the two killers are fans of the series, and they're trying to make a new one that people will like again because all the sequels sucked. And I'm like, so hang on, how meta are we going now?
It's the one I'm thinking of.
And they're bringing back the original cast to bring back the fans. And I'm like, oh, this screams of, I have no idea how to write a fucking movie, writers. So we're literally making a movie about what we're doing.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So, but I'm watching that, and main girl gets stabbed. But then she runs away.
Yeah.
Because, that's how it works.
Of course.
She gets stabbed, they take them all into the kitchen, they're like, now we're going to kill you all. Ha ha ha, aren't we clever? She runs away, then the killer's like, oh no, she ran away. And he goes, ha ha, but that's okay, because she ran out into the hall, and then she went up the stairs. And it's shit like that annoys me, because I'm just like,
shit.
You might be like, oh no, this is a killer. They're going to get me. So I'm going to go upstairs where I can hide. And it's like, yeah, but you can't get away upstairs.
No, you could run out to the front yard and start screaming and wailing at the fact that you just got stabbed and then the neighbors come out.
Well, it's kind of worse than that, actually.
That would make more sense.
Because both of our return characters,
yes,
Sydney and Monica from Friends, had guns.
Yes.
When they rocked up.
Yes.
They also had a car, which is out the front.
Yep.
So she ran out into the hallway, front door's here, staircase is here, because it's the original Scream house, obviously, and goes up the stairs instead of out the front to the... Now, don't get me wrong, the killers have at least one of the guns.
Yes.
And their own gun, because they shot Monica from Friends, like, right when they first arrived.
Pretty much, yeah.
But, like, by my count, there is a gun missing in that whole scene, because both of the two that rocked up had guns. They shoot her. She's sitting out the front with the gun still, and there's some plot hole logic that doesn't make sense. She's out the front with the gun. Then they go in. He gets Sydney's gun after stabbing her. And it's like, okay, now go get the other one out the front. She comes out. The person who shot her goes out to get her. She's sitting there with a gun. If that person came out, you would just shoot them again, would you?
Oh, well, I would. If I was in that situation, yes.
You'd be like, oh, I'm just going to pretend to be like, and then as they get close, just like, bang. Okay, that's dealt with. But no, that doesn't happen. But yeah, by my count, there is a gun missing, and by all logic, it's sitting outside.
Yeah.
There is also a car that is fully functional outside. She goes upstairs. Because of course she does.
Oh, it's the usual thing. It's either that or a basement. One of the two.
Exactly. But, like, that's yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's just, it just hurts me so much.
It's more so, I find, especially newer ones, a lot of horror movies are more funny because of how stupid they are.
Well, I don't
even
even think it's newer ones. I think it's, like, just
Just in general, I mean,
All of them are just like
I'll probably
I've always said I don't like horror movies, but I don't mind a thriller because a thriller is all about building up suspense and you know. For a thriller to work, 90% of the time they've got to make the smart choice and still end up in the bad situations because that's more like real life. You can make all the right choices and still end up in bad situations.
Yeah.
However, in horror movies, especially like slashers and just the gore fests that generally fill that area, you have to make some really, 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 really dumb decisions.
Yes.
And they generally start off with things like, hey, do you remember that camp? Yeah. The one where everyone died 10 years ago to this night? Yeah. We're going there. Why?
First bad decision of the night.
Remember how they never found out what killed them or caught the murderer? Yeah. Yeah. Well, legend is that on this night he's come... Right. So let's you know, I get that teenagers are stupid and cocky.
Yeah.
Like I get that. I get that we're all playing on that trope. But as someone who exclusively works with teenagers at the moment, they don't have that much drive.
No. Not these days.
You know, they might make cocky decisions, but their cocky decisions like, yeah, I'm going to actually no, that's too much effort. No,
I'm done.
They're like, I would do that, but that sounds like a lot of effort.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I get it, I get it, you know? But anyway.
Well, like, don't get me wrong, you're dealing with the ones that are more likely to be, I can't be bothered. It sounds good, but no, screw it, I'm done. There would definitely be a lot of teenagers there that would actually be cocky enough and be able to just put the effort in.
I don't think they would, but then I also know from just like being a teenager and dealing with the cocky teenagers, the very cocky teenagers are the ones that you arrive at the place and the first like twig that breaks, they sprint off in because they're scared shitless.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know, it's all an act, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, so like no teenagers going into that situation.
Yeah, it's fair.
Because it's just like, yeah, let's do this. And it's like, actually, no, that sounds like a lot of work. And I actually kind of just would rather lie in bed and doom scroll Instagram.
Which is exactly what would happen.
And that's it. That's why I think horror movies need to go extinct, because the truth is no one's getting into those situations anymore because of purely because they're too lazy to.
Pure laziness. Yeah, no, that's true. It's very true.
And, you know, all of those cocky teens that used to be like, hey, let's go to the place where all those mysterious murders happened 10 years ago to this night, are now sitting there using FaceTime to be like, hey, let's FaceTime random strangers and, I don't know, be really annoying to them.
But also, in a situation where two people did survive, they only survived because they stayed together. Hey, I'm going to go off by myself.
Hey, remember how that person survived and said it was an unknowable monster? Yeah, that's where we're going. Sweet, let's do that. Anyway, point is, I can't remember what the point was.
Neither can I. I forgot it ages ago.
Remember what the point was. Shit. Coral Island.
It started from that. We know that.
It did start from that.
We were talking about the giants and legends.
We were talking about the legends, but either way.
And then stupid Stevens.
Drinking, yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay, yep.
That's it. Figured it all out.
The flower. The talking flower.
Talking flowers, drinking weird potions that talking flowers give you, gas leaks, all the rest.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of what happened in Coral Island. And then a whole kind of thing where we just got confused and off topic. Hello, welcome to the show.
We do it all the time.
But yeah, no, so yeah, Coral Island.
Yeah.
I can now teleport, which is great because I can save time. Sort of. I can only teleport to certain places.
So is it actually teleporting, or is it just like you're hallucinating, or like you're just blacking out and then appearing?
No, you become magical leaves. You are definitely being torn apart at a fundamental level and placed somewhere else, where you're then re-put together.
So normal teleporting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old teleporting.
So,
unknowable horror.
yeah.
Anyway.
Ah, yeah, so moving on.
That was Coral Island.
Was indeed. So, moving on to the next one. We're doing this on Thursday again. So Wednesday.
You could just say Wednesday and that would solve all problems.
No.
Every time.
No, I know it will, but I'm not going to.
I know, because you are incapable. You are quite literally that person we were talking about who was like, hey, there was this murder that happened at this place 10 years ago by a monster. We actually have photos of the monster, and we know it's not, and we know it comes back every 10 years. And I'm going there
No. See, I'm not the
by
person that would.
myself.
See, I'm not the person that would go there, but would I convince other people to go there?
No,
Yes.
100%. You are the person who's like, and I'm going to go there, and other people are like, oh, do you want us to come with you? You're like, absolutely not.
I want to die by myself.
You are the guy at the start of the movie.
No.
You're not even making it into the movie. You're just the guy at the start who's
I
dying
don't
by
agree
himself
with that at all.
because you refuse to do things properly.
Yes, I refuse to do some things properly. But anyway, it was Red Dead 2.
Was Red Dead 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, I went back to Red Dead. And honestly, in like the last like 5 missions I've done in Red Dead Redemption 2, I think I've shot up like 2, maybe 3 towns, and definitely ended all of them in like, you know, oh, this is just a shootout where I'm killing like 40 people. And so that happens again, and I get another bounty.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah.
Didn't you just pay them off? Nice.
Yeah, I spent like $300 paying off my bounties to get another bounty because of a story mission. I'm not allowed to go places anymore.
No, you're not.
Apparently. But yeah, so we start off. I'm like, oh, well, you know, John wants help moving sheep because obviously I don't remember any of the story missions. I'm like, that sounds relatively easy. That's not gonna hurt anybody.
No. Unless someone gets trampled, but that's about the worst that should happen.
So we go, we herd some sheep. Turns out John's not very good at herding sheep or coming up with ideas on how to herd sheep because his herding sheep starts with using a sniper rifle to scare the guys and the sheep away.
What?
Yeah. There's a bunch of guys herding sheep because obviously we're not going to go and get our own sheep. We're trying to steal sheep. We're sheep rustling.
Oh, okay, fair enough, yes.
And so we go up on a hill, and as they ride past us, we use a sniper rifle to scare them away. However, firing a sniper rifle at a herd of sheep also scares the sheep away. So then we have to go and herd them again.
God damn it.
Right?
Yeah, yes.
So that's how it starts. Then you go, you take the sheep to the town. The guy selling the sheep's like, yo, so these are stolen sheep. So I want a cut, otherwise, you know. And then you get angry, or Arthur gets angry, because he's like, what are you suggesting? It's like, these are stolen sheep. And he's like, well, still angry.
Do you have to call me out on this?
Still angry. Well, that's pretty much exactly what he's saying.
Yeah.
How dare you call us out on this? And he's like, dude, come on. He's like, yeah, okay, rightio. And then they do some haggling, and they haggle it down the price that the guy wants to sell the stolen sheep. Yeah. And then you go to a pub where you find Dutch, and Dutch is, you know, the worst character ever.
Fair.
And then basically the guy you've been robbing from the whole game is like rocks up for the first time. And he's like, yo, bitch, stop stealing from me. I'm going to kill you now. Then he goes away and lets all these lackeys. And then you come out and you start shooting up the entire town.
Okay, yeah.
Which again is just, you know, not really 100% sure how it works, because like he comes out and he's like, yo, Dutch. And you just like, how do you know who, you know, this is a time frame where you could definitely pull the old, no, I'm not that person. Yeah. And like he tries and does it, but he doesn't do it very well. Which kind of, again, it all just kind of like, and I get why it's doing it, because it's like, it is part of the story, is that Dutch is quite literally the worst. But there's a whole lot of it
Yeah.
where you're like, how does anyone believe the things coming out of this guy's mouth? Because he's not good at what he does. Like,
Right.
he's not. He's like, yeah. And just I always hate that game because it's like everyone's like Dutch this, Dutch that. Oh, Dutch is a master with words. Dutch is this. Dutch has a plan. All these kind of Dutch things, and you're just like, no, this man doesn't. Anyone with a single brain cell could see this.
Yes.
But anyway, I digress.
That depends on whether they're using that. If they have it, doesn't mean they use it.
I digress again. But anyway, so we're in this place. The guy, Dutch, we start shooting up the place. And let me tell you, what's just to get this out there, within the first, 20 steps from the pub we were drinking at to escaping. Now, I don't know why our horses suddenly teleported to the other side of town. We did leave them right out in front of the pub. But apparently our horses teleport to the other side of town because, they're magic horses.
Obviously.
And so we have to get to the other side of town. Within the first 20 steps, someone gets shot. And they're like, my leg. Except, not like that. But and so
Okay.
there were 4 of us there. The other 2 grab them, put them in a wagon, start pushing that wagon. And so all of the shooting is left to me. I got to shoot everyone. Right?
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of work. And I'm doing a good job. I'm just like pop, 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 pop. People being popped off everywhere. But then the people, the characters in the video game have the nerve to be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I don't know, just fucking shooting everyone. Like, I'm the only one literally doing anything here.
Yeah.
And then we get to the end of the street, and the guy who gets shot, well, the 2 have been pushing him, run off to their horses, and like quickly after, grab him and come. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, hang on, I've still got to shoot that guy, and I've got to shoot that guy, and why didn't one of you 2 grab him? I've been doing everything. Why do I have to do everything? Anyway, again, that's just the game. But I was angry because I was like, not only was I doing all the shooting, I also apparently had to do all of the carrying and
Fair.
So that was fun. And it's just like another thing where it's like, Arthur's got to do everything.
Yeah.
So that happened, and then it's like, okay, well, we can't stay where we were camped anymore because, we just shot up another town. And I'm like, that is...
Reasonable.
That's twice with Micah. The first time
Yeah.
I had to go with Micah, I had to shoot up a town. That was a $215 bounty. The second time I saw Micah, I had to shoot up a bunch of O'Driscolls in a river. Now, that was a pleasure, but still,
Well, yes.
lots of O'Driscolls were shot.
Yeah.
And now I went out with Dutch and I had to shoot up another town. And that was another bounty. It was only a $60 bounty, so not as bad. But
Not horrible.
not horrible, but it's still $60.
Oh, yeah.
And at the time, I had $4 to my name. I picked up 40 cents and was like, oh, thank God, that's like a tenth of what I have.
Back then it was a lot too.
Exactly. Anyway, again, I'm digressing. So you go back to the camp and they're like, yo, we've got to get out of here. And it's like, Charles, Arthur, go find us a new camping spot. And it's like, cool, me and Charles off to go do everything again because, me and Charles are the only 2 that do anything because Charles is fucking G. And everyone else is just kind of sitting there being like, we're lazy. Shit. Anyway.
Is someone going to do this for me? Do it. Go. Arthur.
Let's just say this. There's a few characters in the game that weren't in the original Red Dead Redemption, right? Obviously, because the camp is bigger than
Yeah.
just 3 people that you have to hunt down in Red Dead Redemption. But, like, the people who they added that weren't in Red Dead Redemption that make it out of Red Dead Redemption 2 alive,
Yeah.
Charles is probably the best. Because Charles is a G.
Okay.
And he's probably the best character because they literally built him so that in Red Dead Redemption, the original, he's not a character you would want to go and hunt down.
Yeah, fair.
Whereas everyone else who you end up hunting down, you're like, yeah, I actually, now that I've spent time with them, I want to hunt them down and kill them.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so
Makes
Charles
sense.
and Arthur go off and they have a little bit of a quip and a talk, One of my favorite lines comes from this little, as we are going to this new camping spot, when Charles says something about Dutch isn't the type to hide in a cave. And if you've played the original Red Dead Redemption, you know that's exactly where he is at the end of the game when John finds him. He is hiding in a cave.
It's not the type of person.
It's not the type of person to do that. Because, again, I get the whole thing is, like, the Dutch is just a charlatan. And, like, he's pretty much good at lying to people and getting them to do what he wants.
Fair.
Except every time in this game when he needs to do that, he's terrible at it.
It's just when you're around. Maybe you.
And, like, the whole thing is that, like,
the whole
Arthur is, like, sitting there, and, like, as the game goes on, you're like, even though he's, like, super loyal to Dutch, you can see that he's just being like, Dutch is a fucking moron.
Yeah. Yeah, it sounds
And, like,
right.
all the people who've been around Dutch long enough are just like, fucking hell. And it's like, oh, so we're staying purely because we've been here for too long?
Yeah.
It's the sunk cost fallacy. Well, we've been doing this for long enough that we can't really do anything else. So I guess we just stay with good old Dutch. Fucking idiot.
Yeah.
But anyway, again, we digress. So anyway, we go find a new camp. There's the place we're supposed to go is this, like, dried out creek bed. I don't know why.
It's a damn up river.
No. I'm not saying I don't know why the creek bed's dried up. I'm like, what? I don't know why. And I get that the person who told them to go there probably isn't the best person to be listening to, because it could, like, it's...
Clearly not.
I'm fairly sure he's the person who's, like...
He's the one that you're buying the water off of because the creek bed's dry.
No, I'm fairly sure he's the one that keeps telling the authorities where to find us.
That motherfucker.
So I'm like, you get there and it's like, wow, this is a dried up creek bed, and everything around it is higher than it, and if you were to be ambushed, it's a great place to be ambushed.
Oh, fuck. Okay, fair enough.
So you get there and there's a couple Germans, and they're like speaking German at us, and all, and then they're like, hey, our father was taken, and then Arthur's being Arthur because he's a bitch. It's like, well, get out of here. Go. Be gone. And they're German, and they're just like, someone took our father, and you're like, no, get out of here. And then Charles is like, Arthur, don't be a dick. We're going to go save their father. And he's like, fucking Charles, you suck. I was like, no, Charles is just too good for all of us. And
Fair.
And we need more Charleses in this world. And so anyway, me and Charles go off, and Charles shows that he is again just the G, because it's the middle of the fucking night, and he's able to follow horse tracks from the back of a horse without a lantern.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he's a fucking G.
God
Anyway,
damn.
and then we have a little bit of a chat while that's happening. We find a better place to camp, which is out on a lake. And Charles is like, hey, this place is really easy to defend. We go into the camp, we find the father. The father's tied up. We go to untie him. A bunch of guys come in. We have a shootout proving that this place is actually really easy to defend, because, like, me and Charles kill like 12 guys.
Nice.
Then I have to do what I've got to do. You know, I got to loot these bodies. I'm not doing this for free.
No, fuck no.
I need some 40 senses to get myself back in the black.
Exactly.
Because I'm poor as shit. And
So that's when you keep upgrading things.
shut up. Not upgrading, I'm decorating.
That's what happens when you keep decorating things.
Anyway, so I'm off, looting the bodies of the dudes I just shot, because I need to make some money back from this. That cost me bullets.
True.
Charles is like, yo, Arthur, you're gonna untie this guy? And I'm like, hey, just give me some time, okay? Just gotta, pick these guys for what they've got before everyone else rocks up and thinks they're allowed to take stuff from the campsite. No, this is my claim.
Oh, obviously.
Then I go help the German guy. He take him back to his family, and it's like, yo, why did they, like, it's probably one of the funniest conversations out, because Arthur's like, hey, yo, why did these guys, like, take you? And the German guy only speaks German.
Oh, no.
So I understand what he's saying, because I got a little pop up there.
Yeah.
But Arthur distinctly does not speak German. This guy's like, yeah, so, like, my family is, like, gold miners, and they wanted some of my gold. And Arthur's just like, I got no idea what you're saying.
Yeah.
Then you get back to his family, he's, like, happy to see them, they're happy to see him,
Yeah.
They've got their wagon packed up, and you're like, okay, now get out of here, just go. And he's like, oh yeah, by the way, here's a block of gold. And I'm like, wow, we're back in the money, boys. And I'm like,
good thing you fucking helped.
I'm like, and I should, and this is mine, although, and I'm not giving any of it to the camp, because this is my money. But although it probably should be Charles's money, because if Arthur had done what Arthur wanted to do and Charles hadn't stepped in, Arthur wouldn't have got the gold.
It's true. It's very true.
I'm like, but because
Arthur's also a dick.
because Charles is such a G, he wouldn't care. He'd be like, no, you have
Charles,
Arthur. But yeah, so now we have a new campsite. It's on a lake. Obviously you haven't played. I know you haven't played Red Dead Redemption 2.
True.
But one of the big things is like you've got to kind of keep the camp, like you got to bring stuff back to the camp so you can donate them money or food and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So now that we live on a lake, I'm like, well, everyone should be fishing, and so I've got to go buy some lures now, I suppose, so I can take up fishing.
True. Yeah.
I caught 7 pounds of fish. 7 pounds of fish.
Also, they're still going to make you do the fishing.
I know. But I caught the 7 pounds of fish, gave it to the camp. I'm like, that's like half a pound of fish eat. That's a lot of food.
That is.
Half a pound of fish? Like, I don't eat fish.
Neither do I.
Because it's gross. But it smells like fish. But like, I'm like,
also true.
These motherfuckers, that's like half a pound of fish each. Eat your fucking fish. What? All of you lazy bastards that sit around camp all day and are like,
eat your fish, get the energy, go fish some more.
Exactly. I'm like, get your fucking fishing rods, go fish. In like 5 minutes, I caught 7 pounds of fish. Go out and fish.
Each of you can catch 7 pounds each. Go.
While I'm off doing everything else, you guys can at least provide food. Sort this shit out.
Yourselves. Yeah.
And that was Red Dead Redemption.
Yes, yes it was.
But yeah, no, as I said, like, definitely starting to become a worrying trend just how often I'm shooting up towns and getting a bounty. Because
I don't know what else you expected from the game.
Well, I know it happens, right? It's just for scripted shoot-ups, it worries me how much money it takes to pay off the bounty. Like, quite literally, the highest bounty I ever got in a single instance was a $215 bounty.
Yes.
Right? That's a massive bounty. That's almost as much as I spend on my guns.
Almost.
Per gun.
Yes.
And that's worrying because that's a mission you have to do. You have to get that bounty.
True, yeah.
And it's like, the game can be like, and people can be like, oh, but you don't have to pay off that bounty. But you do have to go back to that area to do another mission you have to do. So it's like, you can either risk a very, very high bounty or you can pay it off. And it's kind of like, I feel like a scripted event bounty should be lower.
Oh, of course.
That's why I was so surprised with the $60 bounty, because I literally shot up an entire town. Like, we went down Main Street and I shot everything. Everything.
Everything that was moving.
No, not even everything. I shot buildings.
Okay, fair enough.
I was like, oh, there's the sheriff building. Bang, bang, bang.
Okay, fair enough. Just to hopefully go through and kill the sheriff before he walked out?
No, he had already walked out.
Oh, okay. You've already killed him?
I think so.
So you just shot the building for no reason?
It could have been someone standing there.
Could have been a criminal inside.
It's best not to take chances with these.
Fair enough.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I shot everything that was moving, everything that wasn't moving, just everything. And it was like, that's $60. But this other one, it was like, I was just running through the town, only shooting lawman.
Of course.
And that was a much, much, much higher bounty.
Well, you were only shooting.
Well, I guess that was also a jailbreak, so that might have.
Yeah, that probably added quite a bit to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
And the fact that you killed a lot of lawmen.
No one's innocent in the Wild West.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Look, fair. Except for the child that was just born. I can't say anything for the child that's been there for a couple of years.
I'm sure I've done something wrong. Anyway. But yeah, so that was Red Dead Redemption 2. So now we're at the new campsite. We're in Act 3. Everyone needs to take up fishing. It's the moral of the story.
They do.
We live on a fucking lake now. Take up fishing, you idiots.
They won't, but they need to.
Damn right they won't. Anyway.
Yeah.
So,
no Minecraft this week.
Obviously, no Minecraft. This is the week. This is Minecraft weekless.
Yes, it is.
Which is great because I'll talk about it later. But the stuff happening this weekend that I wasn't expecting that now is going to reduce my time. So it's really good that we made this decision.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago. Subscriber count is 302. Last I checked, which was
just before we did this.
Well, no, I actually didn't check then.
I did.
Oh, there you go.
I was over your shoulder thing. Let's say, oh, he's checking the subscriber count. Turns out he wasn't.
No, don't even look at that most of the time.
Yeah.
Just go and look at the videos that I need to look at. So, yep, subscribe counts at 302, and obviously on Friday you have the podcast, which you are currently watching. If you're not, then you know none of this.
True.
And yeah, I think that just about wraps up channel news. Nothing really else to add to it.
Not really.
There we go.
Yeah.
Done and dusted. So there's a few things I've got to talk about, Chris. The first one for this week, now that we're just chatting things, is you know what's come to my attention recently, and I say recently because I had no idea these existed, but gaming tablets, like
What?
iPads,
I didn't.
that are purely designed for gaming.
You know, I didn't know that, but I've never gone shopping for it, so I would need to.
I can't.
Plus, I'm also, if I'm shopping for it, I'm shopping for something more powerful than that.
That's kind of what I was thinking about, because like I heard about them and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool, but also at the same time, I'm like, my issue with gaming on tablets is you're
limiting yourself quite a lot.
limited to mobile games, which aren't really the best and don't require that much power.
You could, yeah, true.
But then at the same time, it's like, okay, well, what if you could like play Steam games on it? I'm like, because we're not talking about like a Steam Deck or whatever.
Well, a lot of controllers can be used Bluetooth, or just they could put a connection point there. So
Sure.
you could just connect a controller.
But
a lot of them are just a USB-C.
But as I said, like I was looking at this because it's not like a computer that is.
Yeah.
It's not like a computer screen. It's a gaming tablet, so you know it is a computer, but
it is still limited power.
It is also a tablet.
Yeah.
And that is what the form factor is. That's what the thing is. And I'm like, but my issue is cooling, because that's like the biggest issue with gaming. Gaming creates a lot of heat.
It does.
And if that heat...
But then they'd probably do it a very similar way to what the Switch does.
Okay.
And
I love the way you point that out, because it is incredibly important that we do talk about the Switch in this, because the Switch is known for its very poor heating.
Yeah, I'm aware.
And the fact that it can't play very powerful games because of its form factor.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
it's the same situation.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm talking about. Like
I was sitting there thinking, it's like, oh, I've said I had no idea about the gaming tablets, but it's like, Switch really isn't that far off a gaming tablet.
Well, the Switch is a console. It's just, again, and as I said, part of it is very, very much the fact that why everything that we do in the modern world is all about the graphics and stuff. The Switch was like, yeah, we can't compete with that.
No.
And there was a very good reason for that.
Yes.
Because of its form factor. And like, so I'm sitting there with these gaming tabs and I'm like, yeah, so like maybe you can install Steam on it and play Steam games, but at the same time...
It'd have to be like, small, maybe like... all your small games. That'd be about all you could do. Like
the games that I heard mentioned were like Call of Duty Mobile, and I'm like, okay, yeah, but why?
It's a pretty shit version.
And I kind of end up in a situation where I'm like, have we gone too far? Because I understand gaming laptops to an extent.
Yeah. And
that extent is you want to game on the move.
Yeah. Or have extremely limited space.
And you're willing to take the hit that comes from having a gaming laptop over a gaming computer.
Obviously, yes.
Because again, and this isn't because I have like a superiority complex against laptops. I think laptops are pretty much the same as consoles in this regard, which is when you try and fit everything into the smallest form factor possible, you give up cooling. Yes. And that's where laptops fail. It's not that they have weaker components. I know they often do have weaker components, but that's for a reason, and that reason is heat.
It's 100% because of heat, yes. And even then, it's still high heat. But they also can handle a little bit more of the heat.
And they become liars.
Yeah.
No gaming laptop should ever be sat on one's lap.
No.
Unless one likes to have an incredibly heated crotch.
Well, in winter it's not so bad.
Anyway, the point that I'm making is like gaming laptops are not small. Like for
No.
laptops, they're actually the chunkiest boys you can get,
Oh yeah, laptop wise, yeah, 100%.
and they
It's
have
not the chunkiest laptop I've seen, but yes.
well, yes, but like of the modern laptops, of laptops built around the same time, they are.
I
the
was
chunky
literally
boys.
talking about one like Dad had years ago. It was like a
Exactly.
Dell laptop, but it was like, hey, we've basically just made a portable computer that's not a laptop. Because the screen was like about the same fucking size of the middle screen here, for one.
Yeah.
And then it was just cords running through in obviously a piece into the main thing, which are just about that fucking thick.
Yeah, but again, older laptops, they
No, this is back when laptops were the same sort of size as what I have now.
yeah, I know, but like again, older laptops you can't compare to modern laptops because
No, I'm aware
they've
of
just
that.
gotten better at everything.
It's
Like,
true.
trust me, I've seen a laptop that was like this thick, but it was like this big, and it couldn't even run. Well,
No,
I'd be surprised if it could run Zork, but
Oh, maybe.
and that was just text. But
Yeah.
my point that I'm making is that the whole like laptops, the reason you would buy one is because you need something with mobility, right? That's the main reason. You need something that you can move around. But you always take that kind of downsizing hit of, well, it won't handle heat as well, so it can't be as powerful, which means that, you know, we're limited.
And once
And
it
so I
starts
just-
to not play games, you down the track, you just have to get a new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PCs are sort of the same because there comes a point when you've got to replace the motherboard, and once you've got to replace the motherboard and the chips, then you're pretty much onto a new computer, even if you're using the same boxes and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is where I run into the issue with the tablet, is that like I just don't see a situation where you can put in the money for a piece of. Basically, it's I would need to do some looking into this because it's probably the same cost as an Apple tablet in reality.
Probably.
You know,
and look,
overpriced.
it's 100% aimed at kids.
Yeah, but it's like it's probably about the same cost as an Apple tablet, so overpriced, and it's so they're probably not that expensive. But compared to like if you were just going out and getting a tablet made by one of the other companies, it's probably more expensive because it's got the gaming attached to it.
Oh, yeah.
But I just can't understand any situation where you'd be like, I'm going to get myself a piece of gaming software. I bought myself a tablet.
Yeah, no.
And it's like, I just see there's better options around.
Unless you're using the tablet for some of those people who do, like, look up walkthroughs and stuff. Oh, I've got the walkthrough here on a tablet. Let's go.
Yeah, but if you're going to do that, you wouldn't buy something that has the gaming prefix, which makes it twice as expensive.
Oh, they probably fucking would. People are dumb enough.
True, I suppose. Especially considering that you can easily do that on your phone.
Exactly.
So,
No,
yeah,
but this is
I don't know.
specifically for it.
I'm just wondering if there's like even a market for these things, or like
Oh, there would be, and as I said, it'd be aimed at kids, so it'd be playing stuff like Roblox and stuff like that. So super small games that aren't good.
fair enough. Fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah.
In other news, Kris, recent game drop.
Uh-huh.
I say recent. It's come out in the last couple of weeks.
Yes.
Mafia: The Old Country, the new Mafia game.
Oh.
And I looked at it. I kind of like it. I like the look of it. I'm probably going to give it a go. But the reason I really want to talk about it right now is its price point. We've obviously and if you're in the gaming
If you're
world,
shocked about the price point.
yeah, we're in the gaming world. You've seen that games have been getting super expensive. Like the standard edition of a game is now over $100.
Oh yeah.
Well, Mafia: The Old World, brand new game that's come out. $89 for the standard edition
Huh.
on everything. And I'm like, wow, it's almost like games have gone to the price they were before, when people were like, yeah, look, I'm happy to buy games, instead of the price where it's like, oh yeah, this game has to be really good for me to buy it.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was shocked by that, because I was like, holy shit, this is a
You
game.
saw something under 90, even though it was only just under 90.
I saw something that was a brand new game at the price of Switch games.
Yeah.
And I went, holy shit. Because every game I've been looking at that has come out recently has been a minimum of $109.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, you want the better edition? That's going to be like $130.
Yeah.
And the better edition, like the complete edition of Mafia: The Old Country, is $109. And I'm like, wow, that's actually a decent price.
Yeah.
You know? For some reason, in my mind, if I can buy a game for under $100, I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with that. But once it goes over, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can swing this.
I don't know if I can justify this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So seeing a new game come out that was under that price point, I was like, wow, maybe there is some hope that video game companies aren't going to start trying to, commit daylight robbery on us. Maybe there is still a hope that video games will come out for a decent price point, as opposed to what everyone's been saying, which is like, oh yeah, by the time Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, it'll be a $200 game.
I still don't doubt that. Yeah. I don't doubt it, because it's a big enough game that will have enough hype.
Yeah,
that
but
they may
again,
still do it.
the problem is that it's not that, like
if
there's a lot of people out there saying exactly what you just said there. If it happens with Grand Theft Auto 6, I wouldn't surprise me, but it would still probably be worth it. And
I'm not even saying
that's worrying.
I'm not even saying the
it-
worth it side of things. I'm just saying it's like, if I start seeing more of a trend of games just being below $100, then I'd go, okay, yeah, no, it's probably going down.
I don't think it's trending down. I'm just saying it's nice to see that there are still companies out there who aren't going, well, all games are now over $100.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
we'll make ours over $100. I like the fact that there are people who are like, no, this is the price we need to sell this game for, so this is the price we're selling it for.
Yeah.
As opposed to people being like, well, everyone else is doing it, so let's do it. Which is what I'm worried about with the Grand Theft Auto thing.
Yes.
You could tell me that Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to be $200 and it will be worth it, and I'd be like, yep, cool. My problem is you would get companies like EA and Activision who are like, cool, they sold a game for $200, so now our games are going to be $200, and the problem is that the next Call of Duty is not worth $200.
Fuck no. No, hell no, it's not. Especially
The next slop that EA put out is not going to be worth $200.
No.
And that's the big issue, is that when games, even if you say this game is worth it and should be this value, it creates a trend in the market where games that are not that value and are not worth that much are selling it that much. Yeah. And I know everyone's always like, well, then don't buy it and vote with your wallet. But the truth is, there are enough people
that don't care
and only buy one game a year and are like, well, $200 for the new COD. Oh, well, it's the only game I play, so I will spend my $200 because I won't spend it till next year for the next COD game.
Yeah.
That it creates a trend where it's not just like, oh, well, now these games are $200. It's now every game's $200. And there comes a point where it's like, well, vote with your wallet doesn't work anymore, because it's like voting with your wallet is removing yourself from this hobby.
Effectively, yeah, you'd have to.
Yeah, and it's like, oh,
because like I'm at a point where now it's like, if I'm spending 120 on a game, it's got to have everything. Mm-hmm. I better be getting everything, and it better be good.
But yeah, speaking of EA though, because this is sort of big news. Yeah. Battlefield 6 open beta. I've been playing it and I like it.
Nice.
So there is another game coming out on Xbox soon. I've been playing it on the PC, so when it comes out on the Xbox, I will likely install it because it's free, and that's Delta Force, and it's very, very much like Battlefield's.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that a while back.
Yeah. Once it comes out on Xbox, I think we should both install it and play it a bit and see what it's like. I think it technically does come under the extraction shooter title, but the multiplayer that I was playing was just big old warfare, and I was loving it.
Fair enough.
But Battlefield 6 is looking pretty good.
Yeah.
What I've played of it, very fun. I got to be a sniper again, which is great. If you're wondering what I mean by that, on Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 1, the last two Battlefields I partook in a lot. Sniper is one of my favorite classes. I like to go lie in a hole somewhere and shoot people. But I really love Battlefield. I've always been a big fan. And when the last two Battlefields, Battlefield 5 and Battlefield Future, whatever, 2042 or whatever it was called, I can't remember.
Something like that, yeah.
There were 20s and 4s in it. And that was rubbish. And it was all operator based and this and that, and I really hate that.
Yeah.
I really do not like operator based games because it's not the easiest thing in the world to tell who your friends and enemies are. Hence why, you know, in militaries we wear uniforms. That way the people who are dressed like you are generally your friends.
Yes.
So Battlefield 6 has, from what I can see so far, foregone the customize your operators, which is great because now it's like, oh, cool, I know what my friends look like so I can see them and I don't have to be like, wait, is that my friend? Is that not my friend? I don't know. I better shoot them just in case, you know, oh god, yeah, we all look the same and it's almost like we're in the military or some shit. There are a few things that I kind of don't know yet, but I hope that it goes back to, because Battlefield has always been kind of a nation game. So it's like, oh, you're the US, so here's your US equipment. Oh, you're Russian, so here's your Russian equipment. Oh, you're Chinese, so here's your Chinese equipment.
Yeah.
And I hope they stick to that. At the moment, it seems like everyone's just like, oh, you're this team and you're that team. Like they don't have names or nations or whatever, and you've all got the same equipment. And like I guess from my standpoint, that makes a lot of sense because it saves you a lot of modeling. But at the same time, it does kind of take away from the feel of being like
actually in a war.
It kind of takes away from the feel of being like, oh yeah, the teams are the teams, you know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, when you're the Russian team in Battlefield 4 and you've got Russian tanks with you, like, yeah, we're Russian. Or when you're the American team and an Abrams rolls up, you're like, yeah, America. Whereas like in this new one, I guess I was the Americans. Like the team I was looked like the Americans.
Yeah.
But then an Abrams tank rolled up against us, and I was like, "Oh, that feels wrong." So it's just a vibe. But you know, I kind of hope that Battlefield sticks to what it's been doing for the good ones at least. But it does seem like we're getting back on track. Like it finally feels like we're heading in the right direction, where it's less about customization and making yourself look as cool as you can for your stream, and heading back towards being more like, this is a military shooter, so these people are military.
Which is what you want.
They don't wear bright pink. They don't have mohawks. They definitely like, as I said, I played a lot of Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4. Battlefield 5 was where they first really went into customization, where you could be like, I'm going to customize my... And it's like, I hated that because, one, customizing takes away from, like, the point of the game, which is it's a first-person shooter.
True. You
don't ever see yourself. So...
Yeah,
all of the shit that you put on is for the people shooting at you to see. And so the more shit you put on, the easier it is for them to see you. And the second thing is that, as I said, it just always makes it harder because you're like, oh, okay, so my team look like this. And then you've got someone like, well, yeah, but I've customized my character. And you're like, I can't just quickly identify you as my team or the enemy team. Pretty much. Like, shit.
Especially when I've sort of noticed it over the last few first-person shooters I've played. It's been Call of Duty. They're not making the actual names above your heads anywhere near as obvious.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make it so it's less noticeable. So they're making it even harder. Whereas it used to be, it's like, oh, red.
Well,
shoot.
I actually want to talk about that because there's something funny that I never really understood when I was playing it. But in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the original one,
Yeah.
or maybe it was Modern Warfare 1, can't remember. But one of the sides was always just referred to as Op 4. And I was like, I don't understand that. Because, like, that was just what they called them. Like, you were the Rangers against the Russians. You were this force against this force. You know, always, that's how it always used to be. Before they suddenly went, my team and their team. You know, but one of them was always called Op 4. And I was trying to figure that out. And obviously, as I've gotten older and, like, you know, paid attention to military related things, I've actually realized what that means, and I realized how much of a cop out Call of Duty was taking by calling that one of the bad guys Op 4, because Op 4 is just opposing force.
God damn it. Yeah.
And so, like, I find it really funny because
it
is something they could literally bring back in the era of the, well, we don't want to say that you're the terrorists, so instead we're going to have this team and their team, your team and their team.
Yeah.
Well, you could easily bring back Op 4 because it's just opposing force.
Yeah, fair. I mean, that makes a lot of sense.
And so you could actually be using actual military terminology instead of their team. But
yeah, enemy team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah.
Pretty much the big thing is, and don't get me wrong, because Delta Force has this problem as well, because Delta Force is a character. What do you call them? It's pretty much a character based shooter. But it's so everyone looks the same. And I had this massive issue with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the new one, where people would load into games with the wrong skin on, because you know how it's like, oh, well, you've got this skin for when you're on this team, you got this skin for when you're on that team. Yeah. So I was having this big issue where people were loading in with the skin for the wrong team.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, you're this character when you're on our team, but they were on the other team, but they were looking like that character, and it was a glitch. It was a glitch that was happening, but it was happening often enough that you'd be like, oh, that's one of my teammates, and you look right to them. Yeah. They look wrong to you, so they have a free couple of kills on you before about halfway through the game they switch to the right skin.
Yeah.
And that's my kind of issue with the skins and stuff, because, you know, they go, oh, well, that's a cool looking skin, so, oh, we got to have a skin that looks like that for both sides, because that's a cool looking skin and we can sell it for money, and you end up just confusing the shit out of the game. Like, because you're like, wait, is that my character, or is that someone else? Is that the other team? I don't, and then, you know.
Yeah.
And so, I understand it's like, oh, but you can add your own personality to the game. And it's like, that's stupid.
Yeah, it is.
It's a first-person shooter. We don't need to add personality to it. We don't see our character unless they die. So, let's just have the teams looking the same so that we can play a faster-paced game where no one's sitting there being like, oh, I should have got that kill, but now I was just confused by what I was looking at.
Yeah. And that's... I think I ran into it a few times myself, and it was just pissing me off.
Well, you know, like, it works for games like... What's the game I'm thinking of? There's a really popular game where you play as operators. Oh, Siege. Rainbow Six Siege.
Oh.
Back when Rainbow Six Siege first came out, it was choose your operator. You could almost call it a hero shooter, because it was like, you choose an operator, only one of them can exist in the battlefield, all of this kind of stuff, right? And I think that's where a lot of these other military first-person shooters got the idea from, because they're like, oh, well, it works for this game.
But they're not understanding it's different for both sides.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. It worked for that game because it was like, there were 12 operators or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
I think there was a little bit more, but it was like there were 20. They were split between two sides, and they looked different.
Yes.
So you were like, oh, that is the defender, that is the attacker. So you would never get it confused.
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
And it was it was a tactical game, not so much a run and gun game.
Yeah, so it's not as fast paced. Like it is fast paced. It can and is fast paced, but it's not constant fast paced.
Yeah, you do kind of know what's happening, and you've got these options to. You actually have options to gather information and know who your enemies are and what they look like and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I think that's kind of where it all started because they were like, it was an operator based game, and it was like, cool, that's awesome. And then everyone else started doing that, and it just became muddled and confused. And like, don't get me wrong, I think now even Siege would be muddling and confusing because there's so many operators added to it over the years.
Oh, and there's heaps. Last I looked at it, it was heaps.
Yeah, well, there's heaps now, and you know, some of them don't even make sense. If I'm being honest, I'm fairly sure there's like a character who's in a wheelchair.
Yeah,
that doesn't make sense.
Not for many reasons, but the main one, tactical reasons. It's not the smartest idea.
Yeah, but anyway, I haven't played Siege in ages, which kind of makes me sad, but at the same time doesn't, because I'm like, when I used to play it a lot was at its peak. Like, that was it was the best it could be, and everything was just great with it.
Yeah.
And as you know, I think I kind of fell off because it wasn't as fun anymore, and like, you know, it seemed like they were just adding in new operators for the sake of it, and they weren't really putting them in with the thought that they started with. It was like, when they first started, it really felt like every single operator was like well thought out as to what they could do and how that countered different things and all that kind of
jazz. And how it worked well with the rest of the team.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like they've added so many, it's like they kind of work now.
Yeah, and I think that's, again, I think you nailed it pretty well there when you said they've added so many. Because back when there weren't many, it was like, oh, well, here are all of the kind of combination teams you could have, and this is how they'll work together. Whereas now there's so many, it's like, oh, well, if you have these two, they actually fill the same slot. And so your team is weaker because you've taken these two.
You've taken the two of the same type. Yeah.
And it's like, I think that's definitely more the case now, whereas in the past it was like, oh, you've got, you know, you've got this guy who lays traps. So as a defender, you've got someone who's blocking the paths, who can control the paths people can come down. And then you've got this guy who can reinforce doorways and stuff. So they've now got to use breaches instead of just popping little holes in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, now it's like you've got 10 characters who can do that. And it's like, cool. And you end up in situations where it's like, cool, we have all of my team is in area denial, but we have no one, you know, who's setting up we have no one who's setting up, you know, secure areas, or, you know, who's stopping the information gathering and all that kind of stuff. And so I think it's kind of like, you know, by adding too many people, they've muddied the water a bit and just made it a lot harder for everyone to. Yeah. Or not harder, but just it's not quite so smooth anymore. And sometimes you're playing a game and you're like, oh shit, my power is sort of redundant because we've got two people doing the same thing.
Yeah, no, I get that. Especially if you're someone new going into the game now.
Especially if you're someone who's coming back to the game or new. Because if you're coming back, like,
I technically would. I reckon I would go into both of those. I'm still relatively new to the game, and I'm going back to it, so I'm used to the smaller list. And I'm like, yep, I know the ones that I'm good at, but I have no idea.
Well, it's funny. So, like, for me, for someone who had played a lot of it, I know who I'm good at, and I know what their abilities are. Yeah. I don't know all of the new people, and I don't know how certain abilities are going to play with each other. But like, one of the big things that used to happen a lot was you would set something up, and then someone would come along and destroy it by setting their own thing up. And you're like, cool, we've just wasted stuff. Yeah. We've just wasted everything, you know, because these two people need the same kind of setup to set their things up, and it breaks it.
Which is super annoying.
Yeah. And that's sort of the whole deal, is that you end up in this situation where you're just kind of like, the game has become too bloated. Yeah. And, you know, like, I understand that you kind of need new operators to sell new season passes and all this kind of stuff. But, and because the operators, it's not Call of Duty, you know, we can't just put out a new gun that everyone can use. The operators have specific weapons that they use because they're supposed to come from specific places that use these weapons.
Oh, yeah.
And so you can't just be like, oh, everyone's getting the new gun. Here's a new gun in the season pass to get.
No.
It's got to be like, oh, here's a new character, or here's a new, skin or whatever. And honestly, if you're only putting out skins, people are going to be like, yeah, nah. I don't need your season pass. So you've got to add characters so that there's a want and like, oh, you need to get this new character.
Like, don't get me wrong,
but that adds another problem, which I hate, which is if you want everyone to want the new character has to be a little bit better than all the old characters.
Yeah, which becomes annoying for anyone playing the older characters.
Well, it means you have incredible power creep, which means you've either got to keep upping the old characters, or you end up with new characters that are just outclass the old characters, and there's really no reason to play them.
Yeah, but the problem is you've got to be careful with that as well, because I've seen it with a lot of other games, especially hero shooters as well. Where they add a new character, it's like well and truly overpowered for when they first release it, and it's like, hey, look at what this dude can do. But then the next major update is like, okay, so what we're doing is because of that coming through, we're gonna nerf him a little bit, but then we're gonna buff everyone else. But in doing that, they make them super weak. And then the next update, they're like, oh, we screwed up, so we're gonna buff him, but we're also gonna like nerf those guys. And in doing that, it's a constant shuffle of who's weak now, who's strong now.
Yeah, that's always gonna happen. But yeah, I get exactly what you're saying. So yeah, as I said, the beta is out. I've been playing a lot of that. I will continue to play a lot of that because it's been put out kind of weird, where there was like a couple days, then they stopped, and then there's a couple days again. So as of today, it's back running, so I'm going to play a bit more of it today.
Fair enough.
A bit more of it this weekend, probably.
Yeah.
Speaking of this weekend, the thing that I didn't know was coming up, which is really good for me, that it works out this way, is that it's my softball finals have started. So it's fun for two reasons. First of all, if we win on Saturday, we have to play Sunday.
Yeah.
But only if we win. If we lose, we're out. But because of all the umpiring they've had me doing, even if my team does lose, I still have to go there Sunday because I will probably be put down as an umpire.
Probably.
For games.
Yeah.
And probably put down for a few games because it's finals. They want umpires who are actually in training and not just...
Yeah.
Not just, hey, you need to provide an umpire for this game. It's like, no, we want people who have actually done the tests and are moving towards that thing. So I didn't know that was happening this week. But in saying that, I actually really, 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 really want to win now. I want to be in the grand final. Being like, so our team did not win many games.
Like, we didn't want to win before?
Well, we didn't win many games.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like, we beat the other three teams in our competition.
Yeah.
Like, we've beaten them, every one of them at least once. But then, because, like, our team was so hit and miss, like, we might have 6 of our players show up and then have to fill in with get other people to fill in.
Yeah.
We were always really hit and miss, and I was like, yeah, okay. But now that we've been playing really well, since, like, the team has been showing up and hopefully they're all gonna, like, we're gonna have everyone there this weekend, I'm kind of like...
Well, with it being what it is, you would assume so.
You'd hope so.
Yeah.
But I'm like, we can actually win.
Yeah.
I'm like, we can win. We can go all the way to the grand final. I'm like, and I kind of really want to go all the way to the grand final.
That's
understandable. Now that I'm there, I'm like, now that it's here, because before I was like, yeah, I don't really care if we go to the grand final. I'm just here to have fun and get back into the game. But now that we're actually there, I'm like, yeah, actually, we could definitely go to the grand final.
That's achievable. Yeah.
Like, we could win this final if we're firing on all cylinders, and we can be firing on all cylinders, provided everyone shows up.
Well, obviously.
And I'm like, and that's where I'm at the moment. I'm like, yeah, we could. And not only can we win, I want to win more than anything right now.
Yeah, well, fair. It's always the case when you get closer to it, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's fun. I'm just gonna check my book here. I think there's one more thing I want to talk about, and it's not a long thing. It's just something funny that I've noticed. Yeah, that's everything. Battlefield 6, Mafia, Old Country, gaming tablets. So the last thing I just want to briefly mention is, have you been to the beach recently?
No.
Okay.
Not really.
So now they've been doing that massive roadworks for, the past like 2 years. And it's I'm 99% convinced that when they finish that roadworks, they're going to make that entire road 80.
Oh, I swear to God.
Because I've seen a lot of stuff where I'm just like, this stinks of being like, we're going to reduce the speed limit now that we've made it a 4-lane highway.
And people were already speeding going that way.
Because it's stupid.
Yeah.
It should be, now that they've fixed the road, it should be up to 110. But I digress. The reason I want to talk about it is they've put up signs, and I say recently, but it's not that recent. It's probably been for like the past like month and a half now. But like, it's a sign you only put up when someone has fucked up majorly. Okay. And pretty much on either side of this massive roadworks that has been there for 2 years, in the last month and a half, they've put up signs that say, roadworks ahead, ignore GPS.
Oh, yes. No, I have seen that because because we had to drive out that way for Andrew's wedding.
Yep.
And if you actually paid, those signs weren't up yet. And Jessica was following the GPS because we didn't know exactly where to go. It was like just after the, it was like the right-hand turn just after the fuel station.
Yep.
So it was a area that's not signed overly well. We had to know where to go, and all of a sudden it's like, hey,
that is after the
It is after all that, but heading towards it because we had the GPS on.
Yep.
It was like, turn right here, and she starts to go turning right, and she's like, well, I thought it was further up than this. Like because she'd heard it was further up than that. I'm like, looked at her phone, I'm like, it's because it's going to tell you to get back onto this road. Stop trying to turn, just get back into the main lane.
Yep. So
and then I looked at further ahead there. So I basically said, yeah, it's going to do it again. Ignore it completely because it's going to waste your time. Yeah. I'll tell you when you need to turn.
But that's it. But what I found really funny, because obviously you would have been probably at that point driving. I'm just trying to think if you were driving on the new stuff where it wouldn't count it as a road, or the old stuff where it would be saying you're driving on the wrong area.
It was a weird situation of what it was doing. It was basically following the GPS. It was telling you to turn off, go through, and then turn back onto the main road.
Yeah, so it was definitely you were on new stuff that it wasn't counting as road.
Yes.
But yeah, no, I just found the whole thing funny because I'm like, this roadworks has been up without these signs for almost 2 years now.
And we haven't had a problem.
Now they've put up these signs, and I went, and the fact that they've put up these signs now means someone has had an accident along this road because they were following their GPS instead of, I don't know, all of the fucking cones.
Yeah, no, there's that. It's either that or someone's driven on some of the new stuff that you're not supposed to be driving on yet.
Again, that's the cones.
That's again, doing that.
But as I said, the fact that those signs have popped up,
the thing is,
it's the immediate thing of those signs popped up purely and only because someone has done the wrong thing, and their excuse was, "Well, I was just following my GPS." And I'm like, I love that for humanity because it does prove how stupid we are. You know, the old stories of the lady who drove into the ocean because she was following her GPS, and it's like, yeah. The man who drove into roadworks because it was. It's like, how stupid do you have to be like, the computer is saying to do this? I can see
that there's something off.
It's not that shouldn't be right, but the computer couldn't be wrong.
Oh yeah, it's like the only time I've ever done something wrong with roadworks was over here when they were doing stuff over here a couple of years back.
Mm-hmm.
They started setting up in the morning, and then basically had a sign up saying that you had to be in the left lane.
Yeah.
But it was only while they were setting up, but they'd set up enough of the cones that I'm just like, oh, you're gonna be in the left lane, cool. They're blocking off the left lane, so I had to be in the right lane. But what I believe that was getting you to do is they were getting you to actually go onto the other side of the road, and you had to stay in the left lane.
Right.
However, because they hadn't actually set anything up, I'm just there and I'm like, what am I doing? And this dude's just standing there staring at me, and I'm just like, what? Because I come to a stop, and I was like, what am I doing? And then he just looks at me and he's like, and I'm like, fuck this. And because it was before this turn off here.
Yeah.
It was the down a bit further where there was another turn off. So I'm just like, you've pretty much blocked everything off. You're not saying anything. It doesn't look like you've blocked anything off on the other side of the road yet. But you've blocked off this side. So I'm just like, so I could see that no one was on the other side of the road. So I just pretty much took the other one where you would do a U-turn or something like that.
Yeah.
And then just planted it come up through these streets here. But it's just like, this just council worker literally just stared at me and refused to say anything, refused to gesture to say, this is what you need to do right now. He just stared at me, and I'm just like...
Yeah, look...
And I put my hands up and be like, what am I doing?
Roadworks are some of the stupidest thing you can possibly do, because basically, what you need to do is you need to think about the fact that every road has so many people driving on it. You can't spend time being like, oh, well, we set up half the stuff, so let's all go take our break now. It's like, you've got to get everything fucking done, and you've got to get it done in like, oh, this is going to take 10 minutes to do. Cool, you have 2 minutes to do it. Get it done.
And there was only 2 guys doing it. I'm like, what are these guys doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's the big problem. But yeah, as I said, I've just been like driving and I've just seen these signs. And I'm just like, fucking how stupid can you be?
Yeah. But
and as I said, also, the fact that the signs haven't been there from the start is 100% an indication that something has happened, that they now feel these signs are necessary.
Well, and the next thing is, it's like a lot of people that are using GPS in that situation need one of the turn-offs, but don't know exactly which turn-off it is.
Yep.
Because, again, the signage on the roads isn't overly great.
It's shit. It's quite literally shit.
It is bad enough that it's like, I don't know which turn-off I need. Like, when the next day when I drove to the wedding, to set up in the morning, I knew which turn off to take because I'd taken it the day before. Having said that, I then had to go further away because that's where we were getting ready, or all the grooms were getting ready. Then I had to come back from the other side.
Yeah.
But because, again, the signage is shit, I'm just like with one of the other groomsmen in the car, I'm just like, that was the turn off, wasn't it? Going through, and it's like, yeah, there's the fuel station. Yeah, that was the turn off. But we didn't know until we were on top of it because we'd never driven from the other side.
Yeah. Again, though, that's also, you know, like, I hate when people go like, we're getting married at a destination wedding and the destination is butt-fuck nowhere.
That's it.
Thanks.
Well, see, the thing is, it was butt-fuck nowhere. To the point where when we were setting up in the morning,
yeah,
we all had reception on our phones. Because there was only like 8 of us there total.
Yep.
While the actual ceremony was happening, the reception after the ceremony, and until about maybe 1:30 in the morning, you had no reception because there were too many people there.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so just because pure amount of people are there, no one could get reception. Until you walked far enough away from them that you could get the reception.
Yeah.
That's how far out it was. And I had Jordan's cousin coming over going around to look after Itachi and just feed him for the night.
Yeah.
So he then... I
remember this day well.
Yeah.
Because I was also doing stuff for you. Lazy prick.
Yes, there was that, yeah. It wasn't a lazy prick. I would have done that myself if they had sent me the message earlier, and I would have sent you a message saying, don't worry about it, I have my car. But either way, I was going to send him a message to say, hey, don't forget to feed Itachi, just to remind him.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't talked to him for a couple of days. And I had no reception, so I couldn't.
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning to a message, hey, sorry, I forgot to go around to feed Itachi. I'm like, I'll be back later in the afternoon, don't worry about it. I'll sort it out. So I just got home and just gave him some biscuits before dinner later on. But it was still that thing of like, I had no reception to a place that should have had reception.
Well, you know, you're making me super excited about next year because
it's on a location.
I don't even know where it is. I know nothing about it, and I'm kind of wanting it to keep it that way because...
Fair.
Yeah.
Look.
That's how I feel about that.
I can't even remember what their engagement party was. Because they came around just before I started work on Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. Had to hand me the invite for the not reception, engagement party. So they handed it to me directly because I happened to be at home at the time.
Who is this?
Your sister. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's 100% what I'm talking about. But you have more information than me.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Like, don't get me wrong.
18th of October is the
I'm expected to be there.
Yeah, I know.
And I don't have a choice on that.
No, you
it's
don't.
just I don't have any information about any of this stuff. They tell me nothing.
Saturday the 18th of October at the Leagues Club. You now have the information I have.
Fuck me, I suppose. Like, but this is something I say to people all the time because, like, I remember there was a time I was talking to two people we know, and they're like, "Oh, they also know my little sister," and they're like, "Oh, what's happening with your little sister?" I'm like, "How the fuck do you expect me to know? You're like, you live with her." I'm like, "How the fuck do you expect me to know?"
Pretty much.
And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "You guys probably don't understand this because you're from different
family.
They don't, but
yeah,
I'm like, you're from a different reality to me, where like you've spent the last like 4 years living with other people,
yeah,
like roommates and stuff, and you're like, oh yeah, but we interact. It's like I am almost the complete opposite, where it's like if you want to have an interaction, you need to seek out that interaction.
Yes.
We're not going to have that interaction just standing in the kitchen. I'm like, because I'm there to do shit, you're there to do shit. We're just gonna go about doing shit. I'm like,
you're gonna do the weird thing occasionally that it's a slight interaction, like Jordan brushing his teeth the other day. I'm just like walked past to go to the toilet. I'm like, beforehand, I'm just gonna poke my head around the corner with a weird grin.
It was a weird interaction because then Jordan ended up brushing his teeth while Kris was having a piss, and they're just in the same room, being like, "This is weird."
No, we weren't in the same room. But separate rooms, thank you.
This is a non-interaction.
No, I just like
indeed it is.
Just weirdly poked my head around the corner with a weird grin on my face, and then moved away, went to the toilet.
But yeah, like I'm just like to them, like I was like, the thing you guys got to understand about me is like I'm like, I don't need to be in everyone else's business, and in fact, I actually prefer not to be because I don't need to deal with your shit.
Yes,
yes, like you have your shit, you deal with it. I'll deal with my shit. We're not crossing the paths here.
Yes.
And so, like, where they're like, "Oh, but you literally live with this person. You would know what's happening in their life." I'm like, actually, I don't, and I prefer to keep it that way.
Pretty much, yeah. For me, it's like people ask me, it's like, "Yeah, what's new with Jordan?" No, nothing I know of. And they're like, "What do you mean?" Well, he lives upstairs. I live downstairs.
Yeah, man.
We don't actually cross paths all the time.
But again, that is a mistake that people really always often make with me. Because again, I can guarantee you about this engagement party shit that people would come to me and be like, "Oh, so Darcy, can you we want to know about the engagement party? We just got to ask you a few questions." I'll be like,
no."
I could guarantee you, on the fucking 14th of October or something, someone could come and ask me that question. I'd be like, "This is the first I'm hearing of it."
Well, not anymore.
And it wouldn't have been a lie because they wouldn't have told me anything and just been like, "Oh,
it would have just been on the day. It's like, get ready, we're going to the
how do you not know about this?" And it's like, "What do you mean, how do I not know about it? You never told me." And it's like, "No, but we told other people around you." And it's like,
it just happened to work out this time.
What? You expect me to actually... No, I'm not going to go and seek information, one, that I don't know exists, and two, that I really don't care about. It doesn't involve me.
Also, they're doing a wishing well. They're asking for money instead of a present.
Fuckers.
Again, more information than you.
Anyway. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, hey, surprise, surprise. Yeah. But anyway, I guess that just about wraps it up. We've been going for a while now.
Yes, we have.
But guys, yeah, there's a sneak peek into my life and how much I just don't give a shit about other people's problems.
Pretty much.
But thank you for joining us, guys. If you've liked the video, consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. If you want to see more from me and Kris, check out the rest of the channel. There's no Minecraft this week, but we play a lot of Minecraft. So go check it out. And until next time, guys, I've been Darcy. That's Kris.
Yeah.
we hope you've enjoyed your time with us. It has been a bit longer than we normally would go for.
Normally, yes.
But until next time, see you later.
So,
Double finger guns today.
oh. Been a while since you've done that one.